Week 3 DFS recap. We had some fun lineups yesterday, some near sweats, but nothing that ultimately got home. But that doesn't mean the Deposit Kingdom didn't smash yesterday. We had a masterclass sub, FantasyGrinder, take first place in the Big BR for 50K. We'll be reviewing that lineup. We'll go through my DraftKings teams. We'll talk about a Dawg Bowl token Pick Em entry that I was one touchdown away from a big 76 Xer. That was a fun sweat as well. We'll check in on Guillotine Leagues. We'll do a little first look of week 4, a little Monday Night Football preview. And yes, we'll look at the Eliminator and Best Ball portfolio as well. I'm Pete. This is the portfolio review. Let's do it.
I suffer from a debilitating condition known as atropic chokitis.
Peter's one of the greatest depositors I've ever seen.
Trust the process. Let's go. Let's go.
I got auto match with Levitan. This is bullshit.
If I just go the other way in that 66, I win all the money. All the money.
If I had 150 lineups, I'd win too.
Process over results.
Illuminati make a bitch go crazy. I don't know which one of these my baby. Bust out AP, 35 bullets in your head like KD. Bust it, bitch go bust it. And I had 10 pints with me in Russia.
Hey everyone.
All right, GMs. What is up, Matt? What is up, Pat? What is up, Meat? What is up, Josh? What is up, Mincash, Brandon, Mike, Tony, Sean? Josh says, my day was not as good. DK was okay. That's the way it goes. Sometimes. What's up to the legend, Patrick Donovan? Wet Like I'm a Book says, I'm tired of Taylor and the Colts. When do they turn into the 2024 Saints? Yeah, what did the Saints have 2 weeks before they turned into a pumpkin? But the Colts now going on 3-0. I don't know, man. Colts look pretty damn good right about now. What's up, Graphic? Codger here. Pete says, didn't take first anywhere, but the masterclass has been helpful in making me profitable early. It's a long season and sure there's going to be downs, but I haven't had to reload this season. You know, the good news is that's an awesome Underdog masterclass testimonial. The bad news is you're not living up to the Deposit Kingdom name. So, you know, we'll have to work on that branding. What's up, Lou? Dude, man, Don. Yeah, Smoker. Man, brutal day yesterday for injuries. Smoker talking about James Conner. That looks like a season ender. Najee looks like a season ender. Then we had Mike Evans leave with a hamstring. We had Terry McLaurin with a quad. We had Colston Loveland, I think, with a hip. Pretty rough day on the injury front there. What's up, Yosh? Joey Large says it was great not being dead after the early games for once. Yeah, that slate was wide open. It looked like it was going to be a PMR slate. Obviously, Hurts kind of got home there in the 1 p.m. games. Hunter Henry had a smash in the 1 p.m., but then a lot of late stuff getting there as well. Oh, no, Trevor here. When is the best time to draft if I'm getting married on Saturday and having wedding rehearsal on Friday night? These are my 2 windows I always drafted. Please help. You know what, Trevor? It's okay to take a bye week. I'll tell you that. You know, this is what I would do. Honestly, I would not draft on Friday and Saturday. I would enjoy your rehearsal. I can't believe I'm having to say this. I would enjoy your rehearsal. I would enjoy your wedding. And then on Sunday morning, when you wake up in that post-wedding glow, in the euphoria of just tying the knot with the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, then you can tell your new wife, say, hey, honey, go take a long bubble bath. You deserve it. Go relax. I'll order some room service. We'll get you some Eggs Benedict. Take a long bubble bath. And then you can jam in, I don't know, 30 to 40 battle royales on Sunday morning. Because the hope here, all the contests have been filling on Saturday night, Sunday morning. I think they're going to tweak things. I don't know if they're going to wait to release things a little later, maybe Tuesday released instead of Monday. I don't know if they're going to make things bigger. I don't know what they're going to do, but I know Underdog has heard the community. I know that they know people want to draft on Sunday morning. So I'm hoping there's a tweak that allows that. And specifically for your sake, Trevor, I hope they make that tweak so you could draft on Sunday morning. This is a great testimonial from Maker here, won $9. Is it finally time to get off the BTJ train? man, he just seems like he's so in his head right now. I mean, that entire offense is just completely dysfunctional. Travis Hunter was not involved whatsoever. It's a problem. It's a problem there in Jacksonville. David staying true to his word. He told us on Twitter he's going to be gifting out some more membership 3 weeks in a row in the green here for David. Congratulations on all of your early Underdog success. Adam says he did one Battle Royale draft. I was a 1v1 away from shipping it. These couple hundred just make me feel empty when I see the 50K slipping through my fingers. You need to go glass half full on this, Adam. Only one entry, and you turn that into what kind of ROI was that? A 30x, a 40x? No. You gotta chalk that up to a W, brother. Drew finished 8th in the Wildcat. First big win on UD. Love to hear it. Angelina, good morning. Cheers. We'll get a coffee pour going in a second. Pius receiving the gifted sub. Yeah, the people giving more advice here. Draft on the honeymoon and every weekend thereafter. I love it though, man. Just biggest day of your life coming up, and you're like, how am I gonna get in my Battle Royale entries? Maybe it's a good thing. I mean, I got married in August. I had barely been playing DFS then. I remember being on my honeymoon. I was obsessed with fantasy football. This was 2013. I think I'd maybe just started playing DFS. I think it was fall of 2013. I actually did my first DFS lineups on FanDuel. So I go on my honeymoon. I remember brokering a trade in my keeper league, like in between going to the beach and going to dinner. I was hashing it out over email. It was the first keeper league I'd ever been in. I think the deal involved Ray Rice. I don't know if I was trying to acquire him or trade him, but I will, in solidarity, let you know that even in the excitement of a post-wedding honeymoon, fantasy football is always front of mind. Trevor says, thanks for the advice, guys. I think I'll try to stay up late Friday, get some drafts in, but clock out after that. There you go. Look, Trevor, I'm going to do this one more time. I don't know how your rehearsal dinner went. For mine, we all went out to a bar after on that Friday night, had a good time. I promise you, man, just enjoy it. Like, it is truly a surreal experience to have so many people in your life all in the same place at one time. It just doesn't happen other than funerals and maybe like huge family reunions or a big birthday celebration. It's few and far between. You're going to have all of your friends, people flying over from across the country, I'm assuming, to be there. It's okay, Trevor. It's okay to take a slate off. I promise. Please take a slate off for us. All right, here we go. Let's dive in here. You guys know the routine. We will start here on DraftKings. I actually ended up last week. I only played one lineup. This week, I had my one lineup in the spy, and I was like, you know what? I want to hand build a couple. I want to get to a few more spots in teams because this slate was so wide open from a quarterback perspective that I really wanted the chance to build a few teams. So I ended up building 5 teams. Here, obviously, using the Sims to help. I've been really liking both the kind of portfolio diversification tools on Run the Sims and Solver, so I've been messing around with those. So I had 5 teams, had a slightly profitable day on DraftKings. Felt like I was really close to some big scores, but it was such a high-scoring slate yesterday. So much of the chalk smashed. I think I should actually pull up here. I think Levitan tweeted out the optimal lineup over on ETR, and it scored like 195 points, the optimal. So those kind of weeks are always going to be tough to win when so much chalk smashes. I do just want to pull that up so you can see all of the high scores here for, as Adam would call it, the best plays. Here it is right here. This was the projected optimal on ETR. Marcus Mariota at quarterback, Jonathan Taylor, Jordan Mason, Puka Nacua, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Keenan Allen, Trey McBride, Kenneth Walker, Commanders defense. I think every single one of those players scored at least one TD except Puka. Did Puka score? I can't remember. But yeah, just an absolute smash of an optimal lineup there. But yeah, I'll go through a couple of my tournament teams here. This was my best one. Again, my best team didn't even outscore the optimal here. It scores 193 points. My best team scored 180. It was a Jalen Hurts double stack. And this was something I had Dave on After Dark on Saturday night. And I was talking in the Cram on Sunday. I know our guy Easy was on it. And I really wanted to get to some Jalen Hurts stuff on both DraftKings and Underdog. So Jalen Hurts comes in at 3.2%. AJ Brown comes in at 5.5%. And this is in the 3-point stance. It's a 5-entry max, $33 entry contest. Liked this size contest when I was wanting to get in more than a couple of lineups. Dallas Goedert comes in at 2.8%. So a really, really low owned double stack. I eat the chalk at the 2 running back spots. Jonathan Taylor, 26.6%. He, of course, goes off for 35.8 points, the hat trick there. Jordan Mason at 43%, scores 26.6. The other plays in this lineup, I did have Devontae Adams as a bring back. Really liked his ability to speed up this game with some big plays, which is what he did early, but ended up with only 3 receptions here. Jacoby Myers, this was my snowflake. If I just have a 1v1 from Jacoby Myers to Trey Tucker, I win all the money. Instead, I also have Keenan Allen in the flex. He was popular at 24.9%. He scores 19.5, kind of a little suck out at the end there for Keenan Allen. I should also shout out the Gilcast. If you guys don't listen to that on, you can get it on the Roto Grinders or Davis's podcast feed. Just a hilarious rant by Nate Noling this week. I was listening to it this morning on my run, and his rant on Keenan Allen, I was literally laughing while I was running there. So it's hard to get me actual LOLing listening to a podcast, but Nate got me there on his Keenan Allen rant. And Packers D to round it out at 8 points there at 12.6%. So that was that. The other lineup I was super excited about because this was not simming well, was Drake May. And one of the things I talked about on the Cram is you were getting a ton of like Justin Herbert double stacks if you were simming on Run the Sims or Solver. And you're just not getting as many of the rushing quarterbacks, those lineups simming well, because there's less correlation in those lineups naturally, less viable plays to stack them with. And so you're essentially having to get more things right. You're having to hit, a 6 or 7 leg parlay instead of, say, a 3 to 4 leg parlay when you do a big game stack. So that being said, I really liked this game environment. I wanted to have something including, Drake May and a piece on the Steelers. So I rolled out a Drake May double stack to Kayshon Boutte and Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry obviously pops off at 2.3%. He goes for 29 points. Booty had a near miss, which I'll also discuss in a second on Underdog. Drake May did fine, 21.22 points, but he was so close to a big game. There was the Booty missed TD. There was the Ramondre Stevenson fumble at the 1 that could have easily have been a Drake May sneak, yada, yada. I'll quit complaining. I did have a Jaylen Warren bring back here. And then the other pieces on this lineup, Christian McCaffrey at 30%, Puka again there, Mike Evans, Ricky Pearsall, and the Jags defense. So this one, again, felt so close to a big day. Needed DK Metcalf instead of Jaylen Warren as the bring back, and then needed to have one of the Jordan Mason, Jonathan Taylors in there, just sacrificing too much there with just the 2 running backs and not having, the Ken Walker, Jordan Mason. So this one was definitely a little bit more off the board, certainly not sim friendly, and yet still gets a little bit of a min cash here just because Hunter Henry goes off. Is Diggs dust? I think so. I don't think he was healthy coming into the year. I think there were like conflicting reports on that. And I remember this vividly because there were all of the, training camp highlight posts of Stephon Diggs. And it's like, he's cutting against air. And it's like, oh, Stephon Diggs is back. And then there was this report in The Athletic that they're like, we'll see if Stephon Diggs is 100% for the start of the season. That was what the team and the reporters were saying. And I was like, that's weird. That's weird because everyone from the social media clips is like, he's good to go. And the internal reporting was that he wasn't 100%. So I think it's a combination of age, health, situation, but he's certainly not the guy we all, thought we were getting when we spent a 7th round pick on him or whatever. While we're here, I'm bouncing around, but I want to show you what I rolled out for my Dawg Bowl token. This was something, guys. So the Dawg Bowl token, if you guys don't know, they now have obviously the draft-based Dawg Bowl with the 12-person drafts. We'll look at those lineups in a second. But this year they have a Pick Em Dawg Bowl. And in week 1, all it took was a 15x to win. Week 2, a 40x won the seat here or to advance to the next round. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to ball out here. I think I'm aiming for like a 60, 70x. Let's see if we can get it home. So this is what I did. I said, I'd like to put Garrett Wilson and Mike Evans in for touchdowns in that game. I think they're both scoring touchdowns. Check. I said, do you know who else is scoring a touchdown? Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams definitely scoring a touchdown. Check. And then I said, I want to get something from this New England-Pittsburgh game. I said, DK Metcalf is scoring a touchdown. DK Metcalf scoring a touchdown. So we're up to 4 touchdowns. Check. One more touchdown to get my 76x here for the Dawg Bowl. Kayshon Boutte. I had a vision. I saw it. I said, Kayshon is scoring here. He was so damn close. I think I don't know if anyone would have beat a 76x. Maybe it would have been more heartbreaking for this to hit and then not win. But man, I thought I had this one. I thought I had it. If I just go Hunter Henry, I mean, Hunter Henry's multiplier, I didn't look at it too closely. That probably would have been like a 50 to 55x. It probably still gets it done. Who knows? But so close there. So that was my Kayshon Boutte tilt there. Yeah, like Don says, I legit thought it was in there too. I know. Very tilting. My other teams here, I did have a Daniel Jones team as well, a dimes to Tyler Warren. No bring back. Oh no, this one I did both dimes and Taylor. This lineup scored 155.52. I'll show you. This was the lineup I had in the SPY, and it was actually my worst lineup. I did do the Justin Herbert double stack like everyone else. I liked how it was simming. In the SPY this week, let me actually go over to the SPY. It was the smaller SPY as well. So like last week when I played it, it was the 4K plus entry. This week, it was just the 1.6K SPY. So wasn't going to go near as off the board. Last week I had the Jared Goff double stack at low ownership. This week I did the Justin Herbert double. He comes in at 8.8%. I pair him with Ladd McConkey, 9.7%, Keenan Allen at 25.1%. These are about the ownership numbers I thought we were going to get. There was definitely some fear that it was going to get mega steamed. It was popping in the Sims. Obviously, the Establish the Million guys flag planted it. But sub 10% Ladd, sub 10% Herbert, fine with that. We knew Keenan Allen was going to be chalky. I didn't have a bring back on here. I jammed Kenneth Walker and Jordan Mason. I played Devontae Adams on this lineup, played Trey McBride, and then Javonte Williams was kind of like a little bit of the leverage piece of, hey, if that game doesn't shoot out, if Javonte Williams is scoring rushing touchdowns, maybe slowing that game down, that's the way this lineup kind of wipes out all of the Chicago and Dallas stacks. That thesis doesn't really prove to be correct as Caleb Williams balled out 13.2 points, and then Commanders D at 11. But ultimately, the Herbert to Ladd stuff just not getting it done with so many other, quarterback pairings going off for more. Let's take a look at what won the SPY here. Big Penguin takes it down. This was the lineup I should have built. Pretty incredible to win the SPY with Bijan Robinson at 40%. A week where Jonathan Taylor smashes. He has both of them, obviously, but to not have Jordan Mason and to not have Kenneth Walker and still be able to win with Bijan at 38%, only scoring 16 points at that salary is impressive. But Drake May to Hunter Henry with a DK Metcalf bring back, Bijan, Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker, and then has a Ricky Pearsall and Rome Odunze one-off in their Vikings defense. That's really the thing you needed to have, right? 4.6% owned Vikings defense drops a 30 burger. I guess that can easily cover the gap between Bijan's score and Jordan Mason there. All right, let's see here. Let me pour some coffee, and then I wanted to look at one other lineup, and then we'll move over to Underdog here. But here's the coffee pour. I edged you guys for about 20 minutes on this one. but let's get it going. Yeah, Nick was asking, new to the SPY, any reason why the 400K SPY wasn't live this week? Yeah, I think Don's right here. They had a 555 milli contest. They didn't want to run the big SPY or Wildcat to keep money in the 55 milli. So I think that certainly checks out from my vantage point as well. I do like that 4K SPY with the 100K up top, but I don't mind having these smaller ones either. 25K up top, a little smoother, or a little more flat payout structure. So yeah, I do like to try to tweak, the type of lineups I'm building, for a 1K contest versus a 4K. I wasn't getting as off the board there. I did want to look at the lineup JM built on Block Party because I wanted to see, I put that in a lineup here. Let's see, is it this one? Yes, this one. I just wanted to look at it. So yeah, the CeeDee Lamb injury killed that one, but had the Caleb Williams to Rome stack, which JM was high on. Caleb Williams, right there with Jalen Hurts for the most raw points at the quarterback position. Io Minor scores at 13.8. Juwan Johnson was a good play again. But yeah, Shaheed doesn't get it. And then the Lamb snowflake there. Man, can we just all tilt collectively about CeeDee Lamb getting a fucking running back carry that he gets injured on? I mean, just like, what are we doing? We were tilting it on the Shipcast. It wasn't a jet sweep. It wasn't a trick play with misdirection. It was just a dead ass pretend you're Javonte Williams running back carry that he gets hurt on. Just an absurd use of your franchise wide receiver. Just tilting beyond belief to see that happening there with the Cowboys, who continue to just be the ultimate poverty franchise. Okay, let's head over to Underdog. I certainly want to start right at the top here with our guy FantasyGrinder here, who absolutely crushed. Let me move our subject ticker over here. FantasyGrinder finishes in first place, 50K solo shipper, 140.44 points. The next team is 4 points off, which is really nice. And he was in first place for the entire slate, or at least for the late window, which can be a terrifying position to be in, where you're trying to hold off these charging teams. It's like, please CMC, don't go off. Please Trey McBride, don't go off. Caleb Williams stacks, please don't hunt me down. But takes it out here with the early lead. Jalen Hurts naked, 29.04 points. Jonathan Taylor and Jordan Mason, those were the two running backs you had to have paired together to really have a nice finish yesterday on Underdog. Taylor goes for 31.3, Jordan Mason 23.6. Nico Collins scores 18.4 points. Devontae Adams 13.1. This was like an inverse of last week, where we had like the super high wide receiver scores. It was, who was it? It was Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, and Amon-Ra all went nuts. And the running back scores were more in the 20s. This one, it was reversed. You had to have the Jonathan Taylor. And the fact that you could win the BR with only 31 combined points from the wide receivers is pretty crazy. But then the other, and this is the ultimate piece of this lineup that actually takes it home, because all of these other guys, you can see the draft percentage. Jalen Hurts near 100%, Jonathan Taylor 100%, Jordan Mason 96%, Nico near 100, Devontae 80%. Hunter Henry, scroll down tight end, 25 points. That's how you do it. This is how you do it. And like, look at the progression of this team, right? You take Jonathan Taylor at pick 4.7, he slides. You grab Nico Collins slightly past ADP, or sorry, ahead of ADP at pick 10. You come back and you grab Jordan Mason at pick 15. You grab Jalen Hurts at pick 22. Then you grab Devontae Adams at pick 27. There is nothing about this lineup that is unique through 5 rounds. And this is where I think this move is just so underappreciated. You're saying, how does this lineup differentiate itself from all the other lineups that are roughly drafting within ADP? You scroll down at tight end. You scroll down at tight end. And another thing here, I myself over the years have been very tempted to just click Dallas Goedert in this spot. Dallas Goedert, a low-owned tight end in his own right, obviously correlated with Jalen Hurts. But to win the BR, you need perfection. You need the 25 points from Hunter Henry and not the 12 or 13 points from Dallas Goedert. Scrolls down to a 5% rostered Hunter Henry, goes off for 25 points and ships this BR for 50K. Incredible. So yeah, shout out to FantasyGrinder. He gave a nice testimonial to the masterclass here on Twitter. Shouted out myself, Nez, and John. Thanks for the video content in the masterclass. Anyone that isn't purchasing it is leaving money on the table. Thank you for that testimonial and congratulations here on that FantasyGrinder. And yeah, I got it pinned in the chat there. You guys can also get the masterclass and you can get 10% off right now with promo code BADGE. But congratulations there again to FantasyGrinder. I took a pretty spread out stance at quarterback yesterday. I'll show you guys kind of my exposures. Drake May, Mariota, Herbert were my top exposures. And, on the slate where, Jalen Hurts and Caleb Williams go nuts, they were my 4th and 6th most drafted. But man, it could have been a much better day if, Drake May and Mariota were the top raw scorers. But felt good getting to this much Drake May and Herbert. At tight end, this is really where it was a little rough. Had a ton of Brock Bowers. Half of my lineups had one of Brock Bowers or Trey McBride. I did have Hunter Henry as my 4th most drafted tight end, which I felt good about, but I just couldn't get the pieces to come together there. Had a good amount of Jordan Mason and Jonathan Taylor. Had at wide receiver, Mike Evans, Puka, Adams, Jefferson, JSN, Ja'Marr Chase. Felt pretty good about my exposures, but just couldn't get any of the right combos there. Lots of Drake May to Hunter Henry. This one has a DK Metcalf bring back. This one is Jonathan Taylor with Kenneth Walker and not Jonathan Taylor with Jordan Mason. Just stuff like that. Here's a Jonathan Taylor with Jordan Mason, but it's a naked Baker team I did. So yeah, just couldn't get the combos right across my portfolio. That's the way it goes. We lick our wounds and move on. Made a little bit of money in the DeBomb, which is the $100 5 max. I was actually in first place there for a while after the 1 p.m. slates with this Drake May team. I was pretty stoked about this one. It was Drake May to Hunter Henry with the DK Metcalf bring back. And then it had Jordan Mason and Puka, but Bucky Irving was the one dragging this lineup down. Was going to be tough to win without that Jonathan Taylor score up at the top, but felt pretty good. You see in this contest, Drake May, 25%, Hunter Henry, 6.7%, DK Metcalf, 14%. So this was one where I was going to draft, the highest player available based on my ranks in these first 3 picks, and then kind of scroll down to this game stack. Still finishes in 23rd place for a little 5X. And then the other lineup correlation I was running a lot in the BRs was Marcus Mariota with a single Raiders bring back. So on this one, it was Brock Bowers. Mariota with Bowers. I had Adams and Garrett Wilson, Jonathan Taylor and Josh Jacobs. So this one, Marcus Mariota was a scroll. Garrett Wilson was a scroll. This is a 3X here, but doesn't take it down. Noah Witt wins here with a Hurts to A.J. Brown. Taylor, the Pollard scroll there. Puka, Jake Ferguson. So a few different ways to win at tight end this week. Obviously, Hunter Henry was the nuts. But Jake Ferguson, Dallas Goedert, Hawkinson, Trey McBride, all of those guys kind of scoring in that 10 to 15 point range. The Flea Flicker from After Dark ended up being one of my better teams. Yeah, we can head over and look at some of the 12-person contests here. I thought my team was doing all right for a little bit. I had the Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown and Dallas Goedert. Bill sucks out with a touchdown there, but Ja'Marr Chase killed this team. I was hoping to get Justin Jefferson. I remember when we did this draft, wouldn't have mattered. That's just how it goes. Also had DK Metcalf there, but yeah, Crutches finishes in 7th place with this flea flicker team. We drafted this. It was with Dave on After Dark, a Bo Nix to Cortland Sutton. Sutton has that big game, 20 points. Kenneth Walker, Jordan Mason, Garrett Wilson, and Tucker Kraft there for crutches. And Vin DEP has the Naked Caleb, Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker, Ladd, and a swap from Jawan Jennings to Cortland Sutton. There you go. The rare wide receiver swap on the slate to take that home. I did not see a single Trey Tucker team in the Dawg Bowl. I did not see a single Trey Tucker team on Underdog. Did any of you guys see one? I mean, I'm pretty sure you would have seen it near the top of the leaderboards. It would have been pretty hard to build a bad team with Trey Tucker. Although if you're the type of person that's clicking Trey Tucker on Underdog, maybe you are just generally building bad teams. But yeah, I just think it was way too thin to get there. I heard about a couple Trey Tuckers over on DraftKings. Yeah, 0.5% on DK. So certainly can get there with 9 roster spots and the salary dynamics. But on Underdog, just really, really hard to get there, especially on a slate where the bye weeks haven't hit, etc. I did not get a ton of Dawg Bowl entries in. Both of the entries I got in were on stream this week. What were the 2 streams I did? Were these, what did I do? Was this on off and on the clock? I don't know where this other one. Oh no. Yeah. It was with crutches on the bash. I knew I did another one on the bash there. So those teams didn't do well. We had a few new qualifiers here. AMACD, I believe, is going to be hopping on the Badge Bros winner circle. Had a Jalen Hurts to AJ Brown, nailed that Hunter Henry, was able to survive 5.9 points from Marvin Harrison, who had like one of the most brutal drops you will see yesterday. Just wide open, jumps up in the air, can't even haul in what would have been like a 30-yard catch at minimum. But Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker, shout out to AMACD123. Go AZ Cards, who we'll see around in the comments section and in the chat here some of these days, get second place for 121.52 points. They had the Caleb Williams to Roma Dunze, nailed that running back pairing you needed. Jonathan Taylor at pick 5, Jordan Mason at pick 20. This clearly had to have been an early week team because Jordan Mason's ADP closes at 12.4. They get him at pick 20 here. So nice drafting early there by Go AZ Cards. Also has Ricky Pearsall, who was a big riser. Yeah, this team right here is a testament for drafting early. Ricky Pearsall, they get him at pick 68, closes with an ADP of 53.8. And then Jawan Johnson just again continues to see a really nice target share, games of 11, 9, and 8 targets. His 8.1 points enough there to get it done. But yeah, just a really nice team there. The 2 best running back plays, Caleb DeRome, Ricky, Jawan Johnson, and then Noah Petro here, who had a cool story. Let me see if I can find in my my mentions here. His brother. Yeah, here's this story. So Noah says, Unreal Day on the Dog app. After I qualified for the Dawg Bowl last year, he's Shag Nasty Ball 17. What a name. His brother, Noah Petro 23, qualifies today, and he banked 3rd place in the main battle royale. It's like Peyton and Eli Manning. I wonder which one of you is Peyton and which one of you is Eli. But yeah, congratulations here. Noah had a Naked Caleb, had Jordan Mason and Genty. Again, absolutely incredible that you could win a Dawg Bowl seat on this slate with only 6.3 points from Ashton Genty. And wow, this is a funky ass lineup. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith without Hurts, but then the Hunter Henry covered up so many problems because Hunter Henry, scored 10 plus points compared to the next closest tight end, to the tight end 2 on the slate. Funky lineup there. No correlation with Caleb Williams. 6 points from Genty, phantom stack with the Eagles, and then the Hunter Henry. I will say right now, this is a lineup that I'm not getting to. And yet Noah is headed to the Dawg Bowl with $10,000 in his pocket. When will the Dawg Bowl be in KC? It is week 14. It's like the first or second weekend of December. It's like December 5th, 6th, and 7th, I think are the dates. There's Go AZ cards in the chat. Thanks. It was an early team. One of my first. Congratulations, Go AZ. AZ, how many teams did you fire? I also got to give a shout out here to Nez. Nez was littering the leaderboard, had a team in 13th, 14th, 17th. I think he had like 5 in the top 50 there. I was rooting for him to get one home. He had that Caleb to DJ Moore stack. Just needed a little bit more from DJ Moore to get home there. But a nice team. Beretta James Bubbles here. Tough beat, 0.2 difference there for Beretta James. Has the Drake May to Henry, Jordan Mason, Pollard, JSN, and AJ Brown. Let's see. Is there anything else to look at? Oh yeah, I want to look at the Deposit Kingdom League. Deposit Kingdom League. So this is the 3-entry max $10 contest. Very much appreciative of Underdog to give us our own weekly BR here for 1K to first. I had one team that cashed here, Jalen Hurts to Goddard. I believe this is the team I drafted with Nez on Off and on the Clock when the contest opened. So this contest posts every Friday afternoon while we are live on Off and on the Clock around 3 p.m. Eastern. Jalen Hurts to Goddard, Jonathan Taylor, Javonte Williams, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams. What a weirdly low-scoring slate for the wide receivers there. But let's check out Kehnbean here. Takes it down. Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown. Gets T.J. Hawkinson's 13.4 points. That was a nice scroll. Only 10% drafted there. Has Jonathan Taylor and Kenneth Walker. And then Nico and A.J. Brown, obviously, there at wide receiver. Nice team there, taking it home for 1K. John Carl Y'all, what a username, finishes second with the Caleb Williams to Roma Dunze stack. Oh, and a double bring back. So again, we talk about the things you can do in small field tournaments relative to the big BR. 4 players from this Dallas-Chicago game, Caleb, Rome, George Pickens, and Jake Ferguson, and then has the nutted 2 running back combo, Jonathan Taylor and Jordan Mason. And then third place, Josh Daniels, a Deposit Kingdom OG here as well, finishes in third place for 500, has the Jalen Hurts to AJ Brown, has the Jonathan Taylor, Jordan Mason dominant combo there. Ricky Pearsall as a scroll down wide receiver, and then Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers, no excuses about snap rate for Brock Bowers. He played almost on all of the snaps because Michael Mayer left the game early with an injury. I think if you wanted to try to cope your way through it, I would say something like it's hard for there to be sustained drives for Brock Bowers to catch the ball when Trey Tucker is taking a 60-yard pass to the house every other possession. But on the other side of the coin, it's just deeply disappointing. And it's the trend for Genty. It's the trend for Bowers. This offense is just not featuring their best players right now, which is frustrating for both Genty and Brock Bowers Bulls. All right, let's head here to I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I was in just about everything this week. I even got some entries into the mini Royale. What took down the mini Royale? Oh, finally a Trey McBride. It is interesting looking at all the different tight ends that you could have had to win tournaments. We've seen Hawkinson. We've obviously saw Hunter Henry, but he was so low owned that he wasn't necessarily a had to have it piece in these other contests. You could have had Trey McBride. You could have had Goddard. You could have had Hawkinson. You could have had Ferguson, which I kind of like those slates. Like it's kind of nice when there's multiple avenues to winning. And this team was another naked Caleb Williams, Jonathan Taylor, Jordan Mason, Nico, Garrett Wilson. And this again shows how the naked quarterback thesis can work, right? Where no one on the Bears goes for 20 plus points. Like Rome was solid. You know, DJ Moore had like 10 points. No one was getting to Luther Burden. But when Caleb scores 30, you actually don't want him paired with one of his pass catchers, because it means that you weren't able to get another pass catcher who did go for 15 plus points, which is what Nico and Garrett Wilson did here. Yosh says if CeeDee doesn't get hurt, that game goes giga nuke, I think. Yeah, probably. Yeah. When you don't have CeeDee, it's so hard for Dallas to generate explosives. I mean, then you're kind of just putting it all on Pickens, and he looked fine, but yeah, no shootout potential there once he goes down. We did hit one pick 'em yesterday from the Cram. Had a lot of near misses there. This was the nice one that hit on the Cram. I wanted to build a game stack with the Steelers and Patriots. So we had Jaylen Warren higher than 2.5 receptions, Hunter Henry scoring a TD. Should have slid that to 2. Drake May, we slid him up to 259.5 passing yards. That was nice. He got to 268. And then we put DK Metcalf tutty in there. So that was nice to kind of salvage the pick'em day there. We do those on the Cram every Sunday morning. If you guys aren't YouTube members or not familiar with that show, every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, I go live for the YouTube members. That's for the highest tier, the Hand Builder and Opto Bros. We do ownership polls for DraftKings. We go position by position, looking at the best tournament teams. We build some teams, sim them out, see what's looking good. Then we build some pick'ems, do a draft if we have time. And then as inactives come in, we kind of react to that. And very valuable show there for lineup building. Getting your guys' thoughts on where you're looking in tournaments has proved to be a really nice exercise there before the slate starts. All right. Let's see here. Should we do a little best ball hawking here? See how we're doing. We can pull up BBMDB. Always a good place to start there. And I'm going to pour a little bit more coffee as we start to check in on some best ball sweats. There we go. Kiss My Third Leg asking, did I play any special teams defense versus the Raiders? Commanders almost ran 3 back total yesterday. Raiders are so bad on special teams. Yeah, I mean, yesterday was one of those days where I'm just like so thankful that Underdog doesn't have defenses, because it's like you build these really good teams, right? It's like, man, you were on Hunter Henry, or you were on the low-owned Jalen Hurts stack. And it's like, unless you have the Vikings D, like unless you have these defenses that go nuclear, it just doesn't even matter. So yes, playing defensive roulette, not my favorite part of salary cap DFS for sure. Did I see JJM not expected to play until after week 7 bye? Yes, I did see that. At least they're getting Jordan Addison back this week. That should help. All right, let's see where we're at in Best Ball Mania here. Compliments of our friend Patrick over at BBMDB. Decent advance rate here after Sunday, advancing 33 of 150. So that's 22%. Don't have any teams in that top 1K. Let's see what my best team looks like here. Josh Allen, Caleb Williams, Christian McCaffrey, James Cook, Rashad White, Roshan Johnson, Marshawn Lloyd, Jarquez Hunter. Jesus, my best team just has 4 absolutely devastating running backs on it. CMC and Cook are obviously awesome. But Rashad White, Roshan Johnson, Marshawn Lloyd, Jarquez Hunter. Oh my God. That team sucks. The wide receivers are pretty interesting. AJ Brown, Rome, Pearsall, Golden, Ayuk, Keon Coleman, Joshua Palmer. Tight ends, kind of fun. Kraft, Dalton Kincaid, and Ben Sinnott. I feel like is this a best ball bash lineup? This feels like a best ball bash lineup. I need to go see which one this is. It doesn't look like a team I would have drafted on my own. I'm already ready to pass blame on my best team. I wish there was an easy way to figure out. I don't know if I'm going to be able to tab through and figure out. Is this one I drafted with? No, that's the one with Ian. No. Let's see here. No, that's a Washington. I guess I can look at these names. This is bad radio here going through all these. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I'll look later to see what that one is with. Let me see my second team, see if there's a better one in here. Here's another high T team here. This one has Barkley, Taylor, Breece Hall, and Brian Robinson on it. Brock Purdy, Justin Fields, Jared Goff, JSN, JMO, Chris Olave, Jawan Jennings, Josh Downs, Hollywood Brown, Troy Franklin, Quentin Johnson. Okay, this team can cook here. This team can cook. And it has Hunter Henry, Zach Ertz, and Harold Fannin. I like this one. So what is that? A naked Justin Fields there, or Fields with Breece? Then you have Brock with Jawan Jennings, and then you have Goff with JMO. But man, the back end of this team, Hollywood, Franklin, and QJ, Henry, Ertz, and Fannin. That's a nice little late round run there. Hollywood Brown, round 12. Franklin, round 16. QJ, round 18. Henry, 14. Ertz, 15. Fannin, 17. Min Cash Merchant is mad that I'm not looking at the scores for that one. 424.36. Again, I still would literally have to tab through every single score. I don't think that really changes my problem, brother. Literally does not change my problem. I'm not going to tab through 33 teams. You know, I'm willing to do some level of self-indulgence on a show called Pete's Portfolio Review, but I got to draw the line there. I'll do it on my own time, guys, and then I'll let you know. And by that, I mean I will not let you know because I will forget to do it. Let's check the Eliminator out here. I had 44 teams heading into this week. I am currently advancing 23, which would be just slightly above expectation, 52.3%. Although Patrick needs to check his inputs because he's only projecting me to advance 21, 47.7%. Hate this number. I like this number if it's more than the actual. And I hate it if it's less than the actual. Let me see if I beat Dink. Did I beat Dink? I know I had a head-to-head with Dink. Oh, no, I'm losing to Dink. That's no fun. He is projected to outscore me here. So, yeah, it looks like I'm toast here. Fucking Brock Bowers, man. Brock Bowers let me down. My overall exposures, I was kind of excited about because I had a decent amount of Hunter Henry heading into the week. And who was the other top guy I had up here? Oh, a decent amount of Luther Burden. Yeah, so Franklin and Wan'Dale Robinson flop. So that hurts because those guys had carried in week 2. And then hoping Hunter Henry takes over, Luther Burden takes over. I still have a lot of Zay Flowers going tonight. But the 0 from Aaron Jones, that one certainly hurts. Jatavian Sanders also gets an ankle injury. Forgot to mention him. Pittman looks good yesterday. Daniel Jones doesn't really have a big score. So, yeah, not ideal. I guess just a mixed bag there for the Eliminator. Let me see my highest scoring team. And then we'll look at my highest scoring team not advancing. Here's a 151. Wow. Oh, no, I was looking at my opponent there. Yeah, this is a Caleb team. Has Breece Hall, James Cook, RJ Harvey, DeAndre Swift, and Ramondre. Good night, Ramondre Stevenson, by the way. Puka, Nico, Downs, Burden. Yeah, man, getting the 18.3 from Burden on some of these teams is huge, especially when some of these other guys don't score. Did I really select Jalen Lane in the Eliminator? Geez, shout out me, I guess. Hunter Henry, there it is, 25 points from Hunter Henry. Let me see my lowest scoring losing team. There's a 117. There's a 135. Looks like 135. But it's projected to, no, I'm probably still projected to lose. Justin Herbert only scores 15.6 points. Get 4.6 from Tyrone Tracy. CeeDee, man, that hurts. I mean, this team, why do I do this? Why do I even look through these? Just to see a 0 from CeeDee Lamb. You get 20 from Sutton. You get 18 from Luther Burden. 25 from Hunter Henry. And this team isn't going to advance. That hurts. That really hurts. I guess I could have David Montgomery go nuts tonight. David Montgomery going nuts is my only hope. How about Cam Scatabo, though, man? That's feeling nice. Oh, man. Wet Like I'm a Book says, I'm 0-12 right now on my last eliminators this week. 54 entries dead by the end of week 3. That is a coffin indeed, my man. If it makes you feel better, I think my big limbs like really took a turn for the worse yesterday. Let me pull up those the big limbs. Yeah, so I was down to 7, and yeah, this is rough because I'm only advancing 4 of 7 big limbs in week 3 when 8 of 10 still advance. That's pretty shitty. That's really shitty. So this team is in 9th with 76 points. Who's even playing tonight? Oh, it's Detroit and Baltimore. So this team still has David Montgomery. Man, look at Barkley and Jacobs just weighing this team down. Calvin Ridley weighing this team down. Ugh. I guess I have DeAndre Hopkins on this still. That's really heartbreaking. This kind of advance rate in big limb, only 4 of 7 when it's 8 of 10 expectation. I mean, I guess it's not that absurd, but it doesn't feel good. This one is a Mahomes, Bryce Young, Stafford, Bucky, Harvey, Pollard, Ramondre, Eckler. Ugh, this running back room is trash. Xavier Worthy, Coker. God, this team sucks. 4 points from Harold Fannin at my tight end position. And then let's do this last exercise in masochism here for this other team that's not advancing. Justin Herbert, Bryce Young, Matthew Stafford, Gibbs, Aaron Jones, Ramondre, Bigsby, Monungai, Raheem Mostert. These are just like the worst running back rooms I've ever seen in my life. I guess Gibbs could go nuke tonight, but Jones hurt, Ramondre Stevenson's dead, Bigsby's dead, Monungai looked awful yesterday, Raheem Mostert is a 0. I mean, this is just absolute trash. Ladd McConkey is going to be a bust. What did I rate him? We got our 1 to 10 on the BBM scale. Ladd gets a 3.9, getting alpha by Quentin Johnston. Tedaroya McMillan, Pickens, Jawan Jennings 0, Addison 0, Coker 0. Hate these teams. Get them off my screen. Get them off my screen. Brady has 10 opponents with Lamar and 7 with Gibbs, so I'm hoping for a huge snooze fest. Yeah, I don't know if tonight's the night to hope for a huge snooze fest. I think it's the highest total on the slate. Let's see what is the total tonight. Not money line, over under. Yeah, 53.5. So the game of the week, the Monday Night Football hammer, Baltimore, and then what is the spread? -4.5 Baltimore. I hope Detroit can show up. I feel like it could go either way. I would much prefer this game if it was in Detroit and getting Goff in the comfy confines of the dome, but still should be fun if we can get some explosive plays. Hendo slowly will gain. Yeah, I mean, Vrabel deserves to be fired if he doesn't expand Trevion Henderson's role after what happened with both Gibson and Ramondre. All right, I think that's good for best ball stuff. There isn't a ton of reason to be hawking these that closely at this time. My big dog teams are bad. 8th place in both of those. Am I still 3 for 3 in my Dalmatians? Yeah. The Dalmatian, the premier contest on Underdog. 3 for 3, 2 first place and a second place there. Let's see this. A 383 and a 392. Hurts, Prescott. That's a pretty nice quarterback combo. Gibbs, Mason, Scatabo. Nice. Ramondre. Ugh. Dylan Sampson, Shipley. Ladd. Ooh. Garrett Wilson. Hunter. Ugh. Diggs. Ugh. Wan'Dale Robinson. Quentin Johnston at least. Jack Best. Troy Franklin. Going to need those AFC West thin wide receivers to keep balling out. Laporta, Ferguson, not bad. What's this other Dalmatian? A Prescott, Love, Rodgers, Jonathan Taylor, Warren, Judkins, Braylon, Sanders, Woody Marks. That trio's not bad. Taylor, Warren, Judkins. Chase, man, what just an absolute shitter performance from Jake Browning. I mean, tough matchup against Flores and that Vikings defense, but it's not getting any easier either because I believe I saw Over the next 3 weeks, they have Green Bay and Denver in 2 of those 3 weeks. Not going to be nice there for the Bengals. Pickens, Devontae, Debo, Diggs, Dobbs, Noel, Trey McBride, Tucker Kraft. Trey McBride, Tucker Kraft's a sick 1-2 punch at tight end at least. All right, let's take a look at some Guillotine leagues. I thought I was getting the chop in the Deposit Kingdom one. I really thought I was getting the chop here, and then Willis came and bailed me out. Let's see. So my roster in this one was in rough shape yesterday. Barkley, Breece Hall, Travis Hunter, Trevion Henderson, Keon Coleman, Justin Herbert, like nothing was going my way here. I scored 62 points. And then Willis, though, the CeeDee Lamb 0 just sinks him. And he also had to play Jake Browning, RJ Harvey, Nick Chubb, T. Higgins, Dalton Schultz, Emeka Egbuka, Matthew Golden. Willis went like 0 RB and rookie heavy in the Eliminator, which is certainly a recipe for disaster, I should say. I kind of just hit really low scores from my studs. To only get 18 points from my first 2 picks there was rough. Cole Kmet, I had to pick up off of waivers yesterday morning because Evan Ingram was out. I'm going to have to get going on the waivers here though. And make sure I'm competing. Who's at the top of the Deposit Kingdom League right now? FF Dan balling out, just like he did last year. Let me go see FF Dan's team. Where is he? Why can't I find it? Is the name differently? Oh, I think this is him. Peaked in Guillotine. Is this your team, Dan? I can't even tell. Because Peaked in Guillotine. I think that was you. What does a good Guillotine team look like? Jordan Love, Kyron, Jordan Mason, Puka, Devontae Smith, Kyle Pitts, Mike Evans, QJ. Man, QJ is going to be a huge winner across the board in most formats. The ship chasing Guillotine League is where I have a sick team. My team continues to dominate in this one. I'm currently the highest scorer on the week. I love this team. Caleb Williams, Bijan Robinson, James Cook, Garrett Wilson, DK Metcalf. I had to pick up Pat Freiermuth off tight end again, another Evan Ingram team. I was able to survive the 1.6, but I have Chris Olave and Javonte Williams. So this team is just really high floor. I need to figure out tight end. With Evan Ingram, I'm kind of sitting on waiting for likely. I also picked up Gesicki as a Hail Mary in case I didn't get Freiermuth. So I need to figure out tight end there. But otherwise, like the Javonte Olave floor for my flex guys there is pretty nice. Who's going to get the chop in the ship chasing? Looking like it's going to be our guy, Greg. Greg here, although he still has Gibbs tonight, so anything's possible. But, I mean, the projected is not in his favor. He's at 59 and needs to make up 20-plus points there with Gibbs. It's possible. It's possible. But Breece, dud. Wandell, dud. Mims, dud. Jake Tongas, 4.1. Tootin, 8.1. QJ, 14.9. So it looks like we might be able to bid on Jahmyr Gibbs in this league. Let's see. This is the a quick look at the Fantasy Life Guillotine League here. I'm I'm doing good in this one. Top 4. This team I was pretty running back heavy as well. Jonathan Taylor. Oh yeah, I had Jonathan Taylor this week. That'll play. Jonathan Taylor, Bucky, Pollard, Pacheco. The Pacheco pick is looking extremely rough, but got Goddard back in at tight end. Chris Olave on these is nice. I'm stashing likely on a bunch of these Guillotine League teams, just hoping he can come back and be an every week starter. And then the last one, this is the one I'm in with like Scott Fish and JJ and Tom Everett Scott. My team is not good this week, and yet I think I'm going to be okay. I'm at only 58 points right now, but I'm projected to score 92 because I still have Gibbs and Zay Flowers to go tonight. So as long as there's not catastrophe with those two, I think I can survive here. Love, Breece Hall, Waddle, Jawan Johnson, Trevion Henderson, Romeo Dobbs. Pretty bad week for this team. So let's just hope we can survive tonight with Gibbs and Zay Flowers. Yeah, there's Greg. I'm last in the ship chasing guillotine league, but still have Gibbs tonight if I can make it with all my fab left. Tyler in 4th and 5th. Can anyone tell me what the top scored weekly winners is so far this week? I'm overseas and can't see it. Sure. I think I have like one weekly winners team, so I can come in here. I just didn't have time to get to weekly winners contest this year, but here you go. Bieber Boom Empire. Blitzology is in first place this week with 196.92 points. Has a Caleb Williams team. You had to have that Jonathan Taylor, Jordan Mason combo, so that makes sense. Has the Trey Tucker. This is some weekly winners ass shit right here. Like, talk about the goddamn nuts. Caleb Williams at quarterback, Jonathan Taylor and Jordan Mason at running back, Trey Tucker and Luther Burden, DJ Moore, Olave. Not really a high wide receiver score here other than the 36 points from Trey Tucker, and then Hunter Henry. You literally have to be perfect in weekly winners. Has the top scoring player at every position: Caleb, Hunter Henry, Mason, Taylor, Trey Tucker. Blitzology. GG's, man. Yeah, look at this, running away with it too. 196.92. Second place is in 184. Like, the legit stone nuts. Like when they, the sites put out like the optimal graphic, it's like the literal best place at every position. That is hard to do. That is very hard to do. All right. How are we looking here? I am curious. Let's see. Seems like Underdog holding off for now, getting anything in the lobby. We do have the playbooks in here. Let's do a little Monday Night Football preview. We can do a primetime Palooza draft. We can build a pick 'em. We have a fun game on tap. So let's jam on this Monday Night Football here for a little bit. Primetime Palooza. So what's the Thursday night football game? What's the I don't know why I'm trying to do it this way when I can just look at the games here. So we have Seattle, Arizona on Thursday. I'm just so sick of watching Arizona, man. Arizona is just so frustrating. Everything about them. I mean, Kyler's frustrating. Like, we were talking about on the Shipcast yesterday. Like, should the Cardinals just like eat the cap money and move on from Kyler? Marvin Harrison looking like a colossal bust. Can't just catch the easiest passes in the world. Trey McBride, I mean, he scores a touchdown and it's like, feels like a make-a-wish. We're just all so thrilled. That team is so tilting. Hate watching them. If you would have told me before the season that I'd be more excited for the Seattle offense heading into a Week 4 Thursday night football game versus the Cardinals, I would not have believed you. And that's where we're at. But at least we have Lamar and this Ravens-Detroit game to deal with. So let's do my knee-jerk VORP analysis here. Lamar Jackson, the clear top quarterback, and then pretty flat, I think, with Goff, Murray, and Darnold. Tight end, a clear top 2 in McBride and Laporta, and then falls off to Andrews and Barner. Running back is pretty solid with Gibbs, Henry, Walker, Benson, Montgomery. And then wide receiver is always kind of the most deep here. You can get down to the Torrey Horton, Michael Wilson, TeSlaa's. So at the 3-4 turn, at this point with Lamar gone, I'm going to push quarterback. I think I'll take McBride with one of these because the Andrews Barner does not feel fun. So it'll be McBride here. And then I think we want to probably take one of these wide receivers. JSN, we'll play a mini from this game. We'll go JSN McBride. Oh, look who it is. Our week 3 Battle Royale champ, Best Ball Alec, coming in hot with 20 gifted memberships. Thank you, Alec. We reviewed your lineup a bit ago on the stream. Huge congrats on the 50K score. And thank you so much for the very generous gifted membership blitz here. If you guys received a membership, be sure to let Alec know thank you, aka FantasyGrinder on Underdog. I'm looking at this thing. I was gonna say, like, Trey Benson sliding to 11 in this is wild. I was looking at this, and obviously the one hole Charlie can't take more than 2, but man, that looks nice there. Let's see. How do we want to play this? This is probably a Marv team. You know what? I'm just going to do it. Actually, I should take one running back here. I should get Montgomery. I was going to do Marv and Marvin Harrison and Kyler there and go for the double stack after just doing an entire rant about how this is the most frustrating trio in football. I guess I have a quick memory, but no, we're going to grab David Montgomery. So we'll do Kyler to McBride, JSN bring back, and then we'll get Montgomery as kind of the last usable running back there. King Thief gets the gifted. Yeah, Nick says heavy Benson last year and almost barely any this year. Very frustrating. Yeah, I mean, last year, I think Davis had the stat too on the Shipcast that James Conner really the only injury to like a top 100 running back across the 2 seasons, like the major injury. Like no top running backs got hurt last year. Conner really the first one in that top 100 range to go down. All right, what do we want to do for picks 5 and 6 here? We're done at quarterback and tight end. I think going to like a Michael Wilson with Kyler. He continues to have a decent role. Am I even being serious? 2 targets. It just, that's me coping through not wanting to select Marvin Harrison. I really don't want to take Cooper Kupp. I guess TeSlaa is a guy who can kind of speed up the game. We'll play 2 Detroit guys there. I mean, TeSlaa, just continues his, touchdowns on 1 target. Man, I take it back. I don't like this primetime slate. It gets gross very fast. What are these names you guys like down here in rounds 5 and 6? I guess I could have just taken Kupp, but Sharbs, Justice Hill, DeMarcado, I guess, was still getting a little third down work when Connor went down. Devontae Walker, I guess, is 2 touchdowns last week. But man, then you're down here to guys who aren't even active. I guess Khalif Raymond's still getting a little usage, had a rushing attempt. Horton was long. Yeah, Horton went there at 5.3. I certainly would have taken him if he fell. Zay Jones. Yeah, got to wait on quarterback in PTP. I think you're right. Let's do another one. Let me get redemption. On this. All right, let's see if we can draft a good PTP team and then start getting the juices flowing for a pick 'em for tonight. And guess what? You guys are going to be treated to one more coffee pour here. Ooh. Gibbs over 4 catches tonight. That's a fun one. Gibbs is always just fun to put in pick 'ems. You play that let's see if they give us the longest rush. That was always the one we were trying to hammer last year. Josh likes TeSlaa, longest reception, Ravens blowout. He'll get there in garbage time as he does his normal thing. Don't gatekeep, Crutches. Drop the picks in the chat. Andrews under 3.5 receptions. That does sound pretty good. All right. Yeah. After I try to build a non-dog shit primetime Palooza team, I will we'll head to the Pick 'em lobby. Posted a Lamar freebie in the Badge Bros channel. Just start dropping the picks in here, guys. I need text versions. Okay. I don't have time to go hunt all of these down. All right. We're definitely taking the big dog. We're definitely taking the big dog here. Derrick Henry at pick 3. So Lamar goes first to Car Park. Imwald grabs Gibbs. I grab Henry. Amon-Ra goes Zay. All right, now we're going to do it. So we're learning our lessons. We don't want to get shut out at tight end. We'll grab another McBride here. We're going to wait on quarterback. "75 degrees tonight. Goff is safe." I don't think it was that cold in Green Bay week 1. I think it was pretty nice out, wasn't it? I don't know if the temperature is the issue so much as playing away from home on grass against a good defense. I think there's just a wide range for that. Like, obviously they can get in a back and forth, but there's also, I think, stinker risk for the Lions on the road. All right. I'm already regretting my misstep here, knowing how this broke. I wish I would have gone Benson instead of McBride, and then I could have grabbed Laporta here. So you guys get to continue to watch me figure this out in real time. Let's go double running back, though. We'll do Montgomery versus Henry, which isn't a correlation I would ever be excited about in like a big BR, but in these primetime Paloozas, why not? All right, let's get a decent wide. I'm just not clicking Marvin Harrison. Let's do DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins, 3 touchdowns in these in his last 3 games here. I guess that last one was in the was that in the Super Bowl last year against Philly? Still counts. Streak still counts. All right, so we are quarterback and wide receiver left. So we can either get, if Kyler goes, we'll see if Imwald goes Kyler, which he probably will. That means we'll be Darnold. We can go Darnold and Torrey Horton on this one to wrap it up. Yeah, this was fun. Index of suspension says the thickest 6 of all time. The pick 6 there, or it wasn't a block or a pick 6. It was it a field goal block? I put it in the newsletter today. He hit 18.59 miles per hour on this. This is Jordan Davis. Became the heaviest player in NFL history at 336 pounds to return a blocked kick 50 plus yards for a TD. 18.59 miles per hour. All right, so as expected here, Kyler Murray goes. So we'll take Torrey Horton because the drafter behind us already has a quarterback, as does everyone else. And then we'll do a Darnold to Torrey Horton mini. I do like this one better. I still think I made a tactical mistake. Again, I'm just drafting a few of these, so portfolio building, you'd be doing all kinds of different builds. But I do think optimally, the one thing I'm seeing is that Trey Benson is way underpriced in these. Like Trey Benson should be in the second round of all of these. And I have not been taking him there. So do as I say, not as I do, apparently. All right. let's now head to the Pick 'em lobby here. I like some of the suggestions in the chat. And as we do, we got Troy gifting 5 memberships. Thank you, Troy. Appreciate you, man. Did you have a big week 3? Or is this just a random act of generosity? Look, Adrian, I got to be honest. I can't do, if you're a YouTube member, if you want to send in a super chat, maybe I will begrudgingly do a start sit question. I just can't do it right now. I'm sorry. Al Boogie gets Troy here. A membership. Very nice of you. Let me scroll back and see some of these. Let's get the idea box going. So Nick likes Gibbs over 3.5 receptions. It's a 0.8. So that's a Jacob Sanderson ass pick multiplier there. Yesterday on the Shipcast, he gave us Brandon Aubrey over 1.5 field goals at 0.87x. But I do like that as well. I mean, Gibbs, although he only had 3 receptions last week, but 10 receptions in week 1 at Green Bay. So yeah, on the road at Baltimore, certainly see that. I might give that's the littlest slide up to 4.5. Ben wants Big Dog going for 2 TDs. Oh, here were the crutches. Likes the nuke reception slide. TeSlaa over 15.5. Yeah, what's the TeSlaa? Multiple of you like that. Yeah, that looks good too. I wonder too, like TeSlaa longest reception. Like you could play him up to like 24.5 for a 2.2x, or if you slide him. I think I like that longest reception too. Like if I'm going that TeSlaa, like you could just get a little, even just taking up to 19.5 at a 1.5. I mean, his ADOT has been huge, right? Let me go look at the TeSlaa stuff. Yeah, he has a 22 ADOT, an average depth of target of 22 yards. So I love that. Just slide that to 19.5. It's literally lower than his ADOT this year. And then do we just do a Big Dog score? No, Big Dog score is 0.76. The Hopkins stuff, if we don't do the you just play Hopkins higher receiving yards too. That's not bad. I kind of like that. So that's a 7.24. So you have Gibbs gets 4 receptions. You have Hopkins clears 20.5 and TeSlaa gets 1 long catch. Does anyone have any, do we have promos cooking? You guys want slides? How about this? Can we do 2 versions? How about this? Can we do a nitty version and then a slide version? Okay, and I do have a Lamar Jackson. Okay. I have a promo here for Lamar Jackson to add to this. So let's do, everyone needs to make sure they're taking advantage of the promo. And I wish that these were app-based or on desktop, because it's a bummer to not be able to do that. But then we'll do a slide on this one. But I'm going to do all right. I'm going to do this with the promo tossed in. So with the promo tossed in, this is an 8x, and I'm going to max that out at 50. Here, I'll try to drop this in the chat, the link, and then you guys can try to pull it up on mobile, so you can tail the same thing if you want, and then we'll slide this. All right, this was the link to my Lamar promo with it. Or you can save your promo for the slide if you want, but I'm trying to just lock in a W here. There it is. So the one on with the promo is Gibbs higher than 3.5 receptions, Hopkins higher than 20.5 receiving yards, TeSlaa higher than 11.5 longest reception, and then Lamar Jackson 0 pass rush yards. All right, now let's get the slide. Let's take Gibbs to, let's start slow. Let's take Gibbs to 4.5. We already took TeSlaa to 19.5. And then Nuke 34.5. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ladder this. So I'm going to do 25 on this. And then I'm going to do one more bigger slide. So there's 3 versions of this. There's the second. And then we'll do one more slide here. We'll take Gibbs to 5.5. We'll take TeSlaa to 24.5. What did you take Nuke to? Oh, you did receptions for Nuke. Oh, yeah. I was kind of liking the yards just with how big his ADOT has been, too. What's Hopkins' ADOT been? Yeah, 25.5. 25.5 there. Do we like the longer? Actually, I'm doing a quick audible on this one. Let's take him to 29.5 here. This is sick right here. Okay. I know I'm swapping out the yards for Hopkins to longest reception, but how about this? Gibbs catches 6 balls. TeSlaa has a 25-yarder. Nuke has a 30-yarder. That's a 46x right there. That's fun. All right, there you go. All right, so there's a little ladder for that game. All right, let's do we can wrap up with a little week 4 first look. We can hop in the playbook. I am not doing a 12-person playbook draft. That took an eternity on stream last week. I don't have anywhere to be right now, but that was still so slow moving for me. So we're going to do a 6-person thing here to take a look at. Also, I got to give a shout out to Tyrus. He sent me a nice DM this morning. Let me see if I can pull this up. I'll do a screenshot of it. Another cool Underdog Masterclass testimonial here, but took down the playbook last week. Says, hey man, I bought the DFS Master course after never really doing BRs before this year, and I shipped the playbook this week. Just wanted to say thanks to Nez and John. Very cool there from Tyrus, your reigning playbook champ. If you guys aren't familiar, playbook are the early contests that Underdog puts out. They're much smaller field sizes. This one here has 1,100 entrants. The goal of them is to set solid ADP for the upcoming week slate. So they generally use this to get some drafts in, some larger sample size for the ADP and get that firmed up. Because what you'll see here, and we saw this last week, the quarterbacks are generally pretty high and come back down a little bit. You'll see some oddities, or I guess I should say inefficiencies in the ADP early. All right, what do we want to do on this slate? Always interesting to see what we're looking at here. Running back, we got Jonathan Taylor, Bijan, and then your 2, James Cook and Barkley. I think still clicking Bijan here is probably good. I think this is probably too much of an overreaction to Barkley at 7.2. But yeah, we'll take Bijan here. I think just looking at the quality of the positions too, you could certainly make the case to select Puka Nacua in this range. Not a super strong wide receiver slate at the top. Although I guess the fact that we don't have the starting quarterbacks for Jefferson and Chase kind of just dilute, and CeeDee Lamb's hurt. So I guess the entire high-end wide receiver pool right now is pretty depleted. Let's see what we're looking at tight ends. Bowers, Warren, Kelsey, Kincaid, Henry getting pushed up now is always funny to see. But he does get Carolina at home. This is a good clarification from GoAZ Cards. Playbook initially set by projections. QBs project higher. So that's, when the contest is initially released and then converts to ADP. Problem is they take so long to fill. So the autos keep quarterbacks higher for initial ADPs. Very good explainer there from GoAZ Cards. I do think, though, at these are probably the quarterbacks slipping too far. Like, I think somewhere in between, the way Josh Allen and Lamar can separate, specifically Josh Allen at home versus New Orleans, I will happily select Josh Allen here. And the only other thing that's tough to pass on, man, maybe I take Gibbs, because Gibbs, to me, there's another kind of tier break. And like, if Gibbs goes for 100 and even a tutty tonight, he's going to be a top 3 pick the rest of the week. So as much as I like both Josh Allen and Gibbs there, I'm going to just slam Gibbs and then make both of these guys take the quarterbacks. As far as the content schedule for this week, we got kind of the usual stuff. Swolecast tomorrow at noon Eastern. I got the Fantasy Life LG show that I do in the afternoon. Stat Chasing with Sacrilegious and Drico will be Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Let me just figure out who I want to take here. I mean, Zay Flowers has just been balling out. Just an absurd target share. I don't love the game. You know what? Let's go Devonta Adams. Speaking of balling out, let's just keep selecting Devonta Adams. He's been one of my highest drafted wide receivers in back-to-back weeks. We'll keep going there. But back to the schedule. YouTube members on Ship Chasing can check Stat Chasing live on Tuesday nights. Otherwise, I'll post it Wednesday afternoon. Thursday, I got 3 shows at noon Eastern on the Fantasy Life YouTube channel. I do a draft jam. I busted out my randomizer wheel, was drafting some fun teams there. Lulz at 1:30, and then the Battle Royale Bash at 3 p.m. Eastern. That is for any YouTube members. You drop the hashtag in the chat and you can hop on stream and draft with me. Been really enjoying that. And then Friday, we have the DFS shows, Block Party with JM, Bully the Sims with Uticow, and Off and On the Clock. We're going to get John back in the saddle this week after his 2-week absence. So will be a good week. And then DFS After Dark. I might move DFS After Dark to Friday night instead of Saturday night this week. I think we might go do like a little weekend overnight on Saturday. So I want to free up my schedule for that, but I'll let you guys know once I book the guest. I am going to grab Zay Flowers here, though. Zay Flowers comes back to me, and I like Zay a good bit. So Bijan and Gibbs, Adams and Zay Flowers. So we're just quarterback tight end here, and we'll see what we want to do. I actually know exactly what I want to do, and I will be able to do it because all of the other teams in front of me have already selected the quarterback, but I will be taking Jaden Daniels with the Q tag. Similar to last week, I mentioned this in the Gems write-up for the YouTube members that Jaden Daniels was a big part of my draft plans just because anytime you can select him at a discount, like he will, I mean, obviously on this slate, you do have Allen and Lamar. So there are other guys, but still to be able to get a top 3 quarterback in the 5th and 6th round of these drafts. And then on this team, it makes some nice sense because I already took Bijan. I always like that kind of quarterback, running back correlation for the naked quarterbacks there. But if Daniels doesn't go, there's tons of good swaps for quarterbacks. And if I'm drafting early, I want to take advantage of that. I do want to look at how my so I'm posting my Battle Royale gems. There's 2 places you can get these. If you're a YouTube member at the highest tier, the Hand Builder and Opto Bros, you'll get this post on Thursday afternoons. I'm also posting it for the Underdog Masterclass members as well. I add it there at the end of the course. But let me make this pick, and then I'll see how my gems did last week. Let's see. Kincaid, Henry, Juwan Johnson, Kmet, Fannin, Goddard, Njoku, Otten, Pitts, Zach Ertz, Let's play. We can play Zach Ertz with no ADP back with Daniels here. So we'll stack that up. But yeah, so Jaden Daniels, I mentioned, and then I said May, Nix, and Dimes were my three favorites there. I did like Geno as a scroll. I didn't get to him a ton, but I wouldn't have been doing naked Geno. I had him with Jacoby. I had him with Brock. So Geno to Trey Tucker would have been lit there as well. It was a tough week to scroll at running back. Pollard, James Conner, Kamara. I was doing Breece Hall, but that it was a tough scroll. You really needed the Jonathan Taylor and James Cook stuff there. Jacoby Myers was a guy I was getting to. Garrett Wilson and Sutton were hits there for my scrolls at wide receiver. Both those guys sub 20%. And yeah, Chris Olave as well did decent. And then I talked about randomizing my tight ends here. Ertz, Njoku, Pitts, Fannin did not hit, but the other three there, Hawkinson, Henry, and Goddard were the guys I was kind of randomizing after the top three there. So if you guys want to become YouTube members and get access to those, I'm not doing the Deposit Kingdom videos this year, but doing my similar research and sharing those for you Hand Builder and Opto Bro YouTube members. All right, guys, I think that is it for me. Fun hanging with you guys. As always, congratulations to all of the winners this year. Oh, I did miss a super chat earlier. My guy, Pat Moore, said, last time I'll ask all season, can we peep our best ball bash team real quick? You are sick, Pat. You are sick, but yes, you sent in a super chat, so I will indulge you. Pat, will DM me updates about this team. It's incredible. Let's see how this is doing. And I'm going to call your bluff. You have Pat Moore Poker in your handle. I will call your bluff on last time I'll ask all season. You will certainly ask before this. I promise you that. Let me find our team down here. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is. All right. Here is the team with Pat Moore. Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, Cam Ward. We got Goff going tonight. Jonathan Taylor, Kyron, Brian Robinson, Scatabo, Miles Sanders. The Jonathan Taylor Scatabo stuff looking very good. Kyron continuing to lose work to Blake Corum is definitely concerning. He's in more of a timeshare than he was last year. Let's see here. I want to look at the Corum usage here. This is one of my favorite tools on the utilization report. You can do the comparison tool just to get a quick snapshot. Generally use it to look at players across different teams, but let's see here. So yeah, so the snap 75%, 24%. Last year, he had a much higher snap rate than that. Rush attempts 71% to 18%. So it's not awful. Still getting more routes than Corum. The targets not ideal, 7% to 1%. Still, getting a decent amount of the inside the 15 rush attempts and the long down and distance. So it's not too bad. It's just not quite as great as it was last year. Let's look at the wide receivers on this team. Puka, J-Mo, Metcalf, Myers, Shakir, Hopkins, Lockett. Solid wide receiver room there. Puka, an absolute dog. And then Warren, Kincaid, Ferguson, a really strong tight end room. So yes, Pat, this team has some life to it for sure. Let's see here. Last time he will ask after tonight's game. Nathan. Okay. Nathan had a 46.2, or is this you or is this someone else? Okay. It did just post on Underdog. Let's take a look at this. I can't believe this. I would have. So I'm going to do it. If I just go Hunter Henry instead of Keishon Butte, I win the Dawg Bowl qualifier this week. Here's what took it down. Why don't we get the username next to this? Underdog, can we start getting the usernames next to these? Let's know who took this down. Was this you, Nathan, or is this someone else? Okay. All right. It wasn't you. So it was AJ Brown at 1.34x, DK Metcalf at 1.13x, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt at 1.09x, Jordan Mason 1x, Kenneth Walker 0.8, Tony Pollard 1. So very similar type of build as last week's, where it was a ton of touchdown favorites, slight favorites. I'm tilting. All I needed to do was go Hunter Henry. Probably would have been a 55x or something. This is about the exact target range I said we should be looking at. It was 40. What was it last week? 30x. I think I said to Nez I wanted to be in the 40 to 45x range. 46 takes it down. Unreal. Nice squad. All right, guys. That is it for me today. Enjoy your Monday. Enjoy Monday Night Football. Looking like it'll be a good one. I will see you guys back tomorrow for the Swolecast. Thank you to producer Mark. Thank you to everyone who gifted subs here. David, Best Ball Alec on the massive score. Troy here as well. Thank you to the new YouTube members as well. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your Monday, and we'll see you guys next time on the Portfolio Review. Peace.